Scorpio, welcome to your hopes, fears, and reality spread. As per usual, you can click right on that description box below and it will talk about the significance of the spread as well as the placement of each card. Oof. All right. You are letting go of a need to change something. There was a change that you brought upon yourself. There was something that you wanted to do that required a great amount of effort, and you're hoping to actually let go of that. You're like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. You fear that the time, energy, and effort just isn't worth the payout, because we get this like this conflicted energy. You go back and forth and back and forth, but ultimately, what the five is, or the Five of Swords is, it can. It's about conflict that doesn't get you anywhere, right? So it can essentially be about wasted energy and wasted time. So here you are fearing that you're just going to constantly be juggling and going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on this particular matter. So you're finally like, you know what? If it is this difficult, perhaps it wasn't meant for me. Maybe I wasn't intended to put this change on myself, put all this work into this particular change. But the reality is, you know that there is no growth without discomfort, right? So at some point, you have to put the work in. At some point, you are going to have to do something differently. But perhaps it's the approach that's wrong, not the goal. That was an interesting twist. I wasn't even expecting that. You know what? I think that's exactly what it is you've really looked into a lot of different things in your life and you recognize that if you want something you've never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. And the flip side of that is if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So you do recognize that there are differences that need to happen, and you started making these adjustments along the way. But you dove too far into the unknown too quickly, and it made you feel like you couldn't accomplish these things on your own. And Scorpios are very independent people for the most part, so they like to have their independence and they like to have a certain amount of knowledge. So it seems to me like you made these changes, like you were like, I need change now, and you dove into it like a fire sign, not like the water sign that you are. And when you found yourself in there, you were like, oh, this is too much. Maybe I made a mistake. So again, I'm going to bring myself, so for your advice, I'm going to bring us back to the reality here where I said, yes, maybe the change is necessary. And I'm going to go back to the fear here and say, maybe this fear is a healthy one. Sometimes fear is the appropriate response because it'll stop us from getting into it will stop us from getting too deep too quickly. So yes, the change might be necessary, and yes, it might require a lot of work. However, your approach might be wrong. So let's not get rid of the goal. Let's adjust the approach. Scorpio, I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you guys next week.